what books should be included. This was the time in the middle of the 2nd century of perhaps the peak of Gnosticism's popularity. And they were producing other writings. And I think Craig Evans is absolutely right. People who date those books to the 1st century do so by wishful thinking, but the actual evidence shows no awareness of them prior to the middle of the 2nd century. And they were heterodox. They were teaching other truths. So, Origen, right around 200, knows all 27. But he also knows that there are some disputes. And then Athanasius in 363, Bishop of Alexandria, writes at Easter time an encyclical letter to be circulated around the Christian churches in the Roman Empire, much like today. Catholic bishops still do the same thing. And he says, these are the 27 that everybody everywhere agrees on, with a little bit of hyperbole. And they match the 27 that we know of. Along comes a Christian by the name of Irenaeus. And, well, let's see, jump forward here. Yes. Here's his famous passage from a book called Against Heresies. He says, there are 4 Gospels, and only 4, neither more nor less, 4 like the points of the compass, 4 like the chief directions of the wind. The church spread all over the world has in the Gospels 4 pillars and 4 winds blowing wherever people live. These 4 Gospels are in actual fact one single gospel. A fourfold gospel inspired by the one Spirit, a gospel which has 4 aspects representing the work of the Son of God. And a lot of critics have said, what kind of argument is that? That's a pretty crummy one. Today we know there aren't even 4 winds. I mean, yeah, there are 4 points on the compass, but they go back to when people thought the earth was flat. But a man named Michael Kruger, who's written 2 very significant books on the canon, points out, and others have said this as well, the only way an argument or a collection of arguments like that would make any sense was after it was already widely agreed upon that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were the right authoritative witnesses to the life of Jesus. Maybe people in the ancient world believed in a flat earth, but that doesn't make that collection of arguments any more convincing to a 2nd century person than it would today. Unless you already knew that there were 4 books that stood out head and shoulders above all the rest, and this is window dressing. These are, how come it turned out that there were 4? Well, it's like there's 4 points of the compass and 4 winds, and so forth. Late 2nd century, long before the Christians have any power base, long before there's political infighting,